going on, everyone? This is Will with the wngZL1a channel, and this is my 2021 Camaro ZL1. I realize I've yet to do a overview or a general features or my love-hate of my Camaro yet. So yeah, here it is, 2021 Camaro ZL1. I actually ordered this car back in October 2020 and received it in December of 2020. Got pretty lucky and ordered it before the chip shortages and all the other issues, and so didn't have any kind of supply issues and received it exactly as I have ordered. And so I've had it for almost a year, and I figured I'd just kind of go over a few things. And yeah, so here we are.
Oh, look at that. That's nice and shiny.
I went with the satin steel, which I thought had kind of a cool look, gave me kind of a throwback to, like, it made me think of the DeLoreans or, Back to the Future. And then another option that I picked up was the carbon fiber, the exposed carbon fiber heat extractor, which I think looks really nice. And overall, I'm extremely happy with the car, and I just love the look of the 6th gen Camaros. I did not like the 5th gens. I thought they're kind of bloated, heavy, and just kind of bulky looking, and never really considered them, which I know a lot of Camaro fanatics would be like, that's horrible to even think, heretic, thinking, the 5th gen was a big seller. 6th gen pretty much, unfortunately, put the nail in the coffin of the Camaros, and it looks like the Camaros will fade away after 2024. Just didn't sell. They really aimed it at the enthusiast and not at the grocery getter mom car or maybe a rental car. And so the sales really suffered, and they don't market it. You don't see any advertisements for it. You hardly see any movie references in it. The 5th gen, they had the Transformers with the Bumblebee. 6th gen, they have, I think it's The Last Guy, whatever I think is in it. But I mean, it's already past the point of no return on saving the car, so it didn't really matter what it's in at this point. But yeah, I really love the overall look of the car. It's got a mean stance. It's got back seats, which, I mean, they're almost useless, but I have kids and they do fit, so I can't take them for a drive when I feel like it. And overall, I just love how the car sits. It just has these big, meaty back tires, and it just has a nice road presence, comfortable to drive, and really like everything about it. Yeah, so this video will just kind of give you a quick rundown. As you know, it's the LT4, 650 horsepower, 650 pounds of torque. I believe they're good for, I think you can get up to about 700 wheel horsepower with some mods, but after that you have to really start going into the fueling with the cam or some other tricks and stuff like that if you plan on going any higher. But I plan on keeping the drivetrain warranty myself, at least for the first couple years, and then we'll go from there. Anyways, quick interior shot of the car. And as you can see, there are some aftermarket things I've done, which you could probably see in my previous videos. But an option I did order with the car was the red seat belts. I ordered the, you can't see it here, but the nav option, which was with my head unit. And the only reason I got nav, it was relatively inexpensive, but it does tie into your gauge cluster and your heads-up display. Heads-up display is standard on the ZL1, as are these very nice Recaro seats with the Alcantara inside, and you got the leather with the red stitching. And I did keep the traditional Alcantara front of the passenger dash. I did not option for the OEM carbon fiber piece because I just kind of like the little bit of Alcantara there. And I did actually have another option, which was these leather knee bolsters here and here, and I'm on the fence with them. Honestly, I thought they were going to be Alcantara, and I thought I was going to get my OEM Alcantara ZL1 knee bolsters, but I guess 2021 and after, they swap them out at the factory and don't actually have it as a dealer swapped option, so I only got these red leather knee bolsters.
I will be probably getting these custom made set for these that will be red Alcantara with maybe black or gray stitching to replace these. But yeah, that's where we're at. And as you can see here, the carbon fiber, this is an aftermarket piece, but the lighting is OEM with the two SS's and the ZL1s, which I really like the ambient lighting. And then the sill plates, you can't really see in the light here, but these actually glow and look quite nice. Bose sound system sounds pretty good. I mean, it's not mind-blowing, but it is pretty good for an OEM system. And of course, you got the Alcantara, soft touch Alcantara, but then you got some hard plastic here, which is some of the things I would have been happier with if maybe this was soft touch or this up here was a little bit soft touch. But you know, it's kind of one of those things where I just kind of finding things to complain about. Car's a little bit dirty, so disregard all that. I really do like the wheels, even though they are a pain to clean. And, you know, so it's one of those good and bad. And I love the Brembo brakes. It would have been cool if they could have gave me maybe color options other than the silver, but, you know, not a big deal. I know the 1LE version does get red Brembos, but not really a deal breaker by any means. But what I do wish they offered was a carbon fiber package of some sort that would give me a carbon fiber lip, carbon fiber, whatever these are, rocker panels or whatever, and a carbon fiber diffuser would have been really cool. I'm iffy on the wing, you know, it's nothing, I don't believe any better than what comes on the standard SS or the 2SS. So it's kind of a disappointment with the wing, maybe something a little bit cooler or maybe carbon fiber. I don't like the 1LE big giant wing, but maybe a carbon fiber wing of this same wing, but maybe in carbon fiber that kind of offset the heat extractor would have been cool. And one of the complaints a lot of people have is regarding the trunk. Not really the trunk size, as it does hold a decent amount. It is the trunk opening width and depth, which it is relatively small. You can't fit a huge box in here or mini fridge or, you know, people complain about golf clubs. I mean, if you need golf clubs, I guess stick with the Corvette, or you're gonna have to take out the big clubs and, you know, stick them in the back seat, or you're gonna have to drop the back seats down and just kind of go all the way through. You just gotta kind of finesse things in here. As you can see, I do have a cargo liner in here, which is the WeatherTech that I really like. There are a lot of sensitive electronics underneath the floor back here. And I've seen many times where people would spill something and destroy a fuse box or electronics. And yeah, for a few dollars, peace of mind, this has a lip on it, keeps fluids from going down into your electronics. I haven't had any issues with the trunk, but I've only put about 2,500 miles on this. I don't drive a ton, even though this is technically my daily driver. I like the taillights, no issues, no complaints. I know some people don't like them. I think they kind of have a cool 3D effect, and I think overall they look pretty nice. Though I would have liked LED reverse lamps, LED license plate lights would have been nice, and some darker rear reflectors, but I know that's probably a legal thing. And so yeah, one of those things you have to just customize yourself. I do like the exhaust. It sounds really good for a stock exhaust. Probably one of the best stock exhausts, you know, at a car at this price range that I've heard, even though I will be swapping this out for a Borland Attack when I get off my butt and do it. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow. And as you can see, I've already swapped out the reflectors with Diodynamics, front and back. I've already added rock guards, front and back. And take a look at the power plant. LT4. And yeah, I plan on keeping this mostly a stock. I'm not going to open it up, do anything crazy to it. I've done a few small things such as adding the catch can to hopefully give it some extra longevity, because I do plan on keeping this car for quite a while. Have the rotofab on here, and I do have the supercharger reservoir expansion tank. Only reason I replaced or actually added this expansion tank is because the fitting, OEM fitting, broke, and instead of having to deal with the dealership, I got the expansion tank, which replaced the fitting anyways, and it kind of just worked out. I did remove the sound deadening plate from underneath the supercharger lid. And the only reason I did that, just to help open up some of that supercharger sound, and I already had the lid off when I had to install the catch can. You can check the video up here for that. And yeah, so I wouldn't probably do it if that was the only thing I was doing. But since I already had the lid off, I figured why not. And it does enhance the sound a little bit. And can't really tell here, but I do have a dash cam wired in, which is one of my essential mods. Really, with people driving nowadays, you want to make sure you don't get screwed over by some idiot who doesn't know how to drive his car. I'll try to finish this video up with the interior once again. As you can see, 2,285 miles in about a year. So don't really drive a lot. I have done some interior mods. You can see the carbon fiber. That is one of the big things that I'm not a huge fan of with the car, is this dash. I mean, it's the cheapest plastic feel to it. I wish they would have done like an Alcantara or a soft touch Alcantara. Get rid of this ugly, shiny gauge cluster, whatever. They had the ugly silver trim on the steering wheel and on the doors, which I've replaced with carbon fiber overlays. This whole centerpiece here is all cheap plastic, which I put an overlay on. It looks better, but it's still, you know, it'd been nice if this whole piece was something soft touch or nicer than cheap plastic. Another thing I wasn't a huge fan of, which I have replaced, I get some light back on here, was the center console lid. It's like a kind of a hard leather material. I've actually had somebody custom make an Alcantara one with the red stitching and add some extra foam padding. Video over here or whatever. And this thing is super comfortable. I guess Alcantara really doesn't wear as good, but since I don't drive this thing a ton, this should be more than enough, last long enough for me to enjoy. And if I ever wear it down, I could always just swap it out again. I did keep my original console in. Add a little carbon fiber to the to around the cup holders, which I actually don't mind these cup holders. They hold my coffee cup or you know, drinks pretty good. They don't fly out or anything like that. I do love the accent lighting once more here, and I love the accent lighting around the heads-up display. And that's another thing. I'll go ahead and turn it on, kind of. That I like is I do like the gauge cluster. Some people, you know, they might think the Mustang gauge cluster is better, or, you know, if you get the advanced all digital gauge cluster. But I actually prefer the analog digital combo. Yeah, my wife has the 2019 Mustang EcoBoost Premium with the all digital gauge cluster, which I think looks really nice, has more customability, has more customization than what this has, but this one has a decent amount. I can change, you know, the overall view and some of the gauges and stuff like that, but it would have been nice if they would have included at least a wideband with these cars, which they don't, and have a, you know, physical analog wideband gauge, maybe up here or down here or on the side, and also a analog boost gauge. You know, maybe put something here and here. I think would have looked nice, and you know, always good to have feedback on a performance car like that. I do like these buttons, which are physical, thankfully, such as the mode select. I can go through sport, track, touring, ice. I usually ride in sport. And then you got your traction control. The parking brake, I'd hardly ever use it. I always get confused if I pull it, push it. So I'm not a huge fan of the parking brake, or at least how this one is put together, being an electric parking brake. You can tell I do have a Pro Clip mount here.
which there's no real places to put your phone. Of course, they provide this phone charger pad back here, which is useless because no actual real modern phone. Like here I have a S21 Ultra. You know, it doesn't fit and doesn't really charge. So it's almost like a pointless waste of space, you know, unfortunately. And it's, you know, you gotta bend your arm behind you to even use, you know, put my phone here. So I used the Pro Clip. My phone lasts for a whole day anyways. So this thing's awesome, you know, boom, perfect, no problems with it. Also have a radar detector and then my dash cam with radar. So radar detector with radar. So this radar monitors my car in low power mode when my car is parked. So it actually takes a less drain on the battery. And speaking of battery, I have this battery back here, which is the iVolt battery pack that runs my dash cam. So my car can sit for weeks and be fully protected via my front and rear channel cameras. And I don't have to worry about draining my battery to start my car. And so I'll be fully protected without being stranded. And of course, this is more add-on overlays for carbon fiber, which I really like. And then I got some aluminum rings around these, which I might swap out for carbon fiber eventually, as I've been also looking at HVAC carbon fiber and this whole panel up here carbon fiber. And I love the rear view mirror camera. It's awesome. People complain that they lost their controls for a garage door opener, but I'm like, it's 2021. I use my phone app to open my garage door. I don't need a physical button to click in my car to take up and replace the rear view mirror camera. This really eliminates most of your bad visibility through these rear windows, and it's pretty much a game changer as far as visibility. Now, what I would have loved to see is maybe a little bit bigger of a screen. They have plenty of room. They could have went this thing that could have easily made this a 10-inch horizontal screen. Then that would have given some extra space on the side for an overhead 3D camera, which this thing doesn't. I really would love an overhead camera so I can maneuver through tight like drive-throughs, because this car is wider than it, you know, it is wider than it feels. And I'm pretty much scared to go in most drive-thrus because I'm worried I'm going to freaking clip a wheel or something. So if they would have widened this out, fitted overhead camera view, and also if they would have included a front camera in the front grille, that would have been awesome on being able to pull up into parking spots without hitting anything. So I have to back in all my parking spots because the front lip is low. It protrudes pretty far, and it's really impossible to judge pulling forward of where any kind of cement barriers are or anything like that. Overall, I love this transmission in this car. The thing is super quick. It shifts amazing. This is my first automatic car as my main car that I've had in 20-something years. And I don't miss manual, even though I do miss, you know, giving it a little bit of extra rev and whatnot. But yeah, if you're gonna have an automatic that's not a dual clutch transmission, this one is really good. Shifts super quick, and yeah, no complaints with the transmission. I love being able to tap the accelerator, have it drop into performance shift mode. It knows where to go. It knows how fast to go, and yeah, you're good to go. Another thing I love is the HVAC controls in this car. I mean, the wheel, super cool. I mean, boom, you have full control of everything. Here's your temperatures. My Pro Clip's, of course, a little bit in the way over here, but this is for the passengers. So the passenger, you know, who cares? It's the passenger, whatever. Yeah, so I love the heated and cooled seats. Ventilated seats, they're not very good. Pretty much you have to have the floor vent AC on. The ventilated seats will then pull up the floor AC up through your chair, but it's, you know, it's better than nothing, but it's definitely not something to write home about. Back seats, they're there. Everybody complains about them. I mean, yeah, they're small, but I can fit 2 kids back there, and they have fun riding around with me.
And if I had something like, you know, a Corvette or a Supra, I could fit nobody back there. And also it's good for, you know, throwing my gym bag back there, or just if I need to hold something in place, then it works out nice. So no complaints. I mean, they're back seats. I'm not going to be carrying any, you know, adults back there for extended periods of time, cross country, or anything like that. And yeah, of course, we have the gauge cluster mentioned earlier. You know, switch to the different modes. You have traction control, competitive mode. You know, boom, drop into track. And then if you drop it into track and then you double click on the traction control button, you go into performance traction mode, and you can go between dry, sport, you know, race. So these are kind of like the extra layer of modes that you can then manipulate with the mode select button. I haven't really messed with these that much, and really I haven't really messed with a lot of these options because I just don't have a good place to go, unfortunately. And then of course you can be able to switch through here. See kind of amazing fuel mileage I get here. It looks like so far I've been averaging about 14 miles per gallon. But I don't do any really long distance driving, so I'll hop in here, drive to the gym, drive back, tire pressure monitors, speed limit, and you know, some other cool features. And then of course you got the performance modes you can go into, you know, oil temperature, you can look at pressures, really tons of really cool and informative stuff here in these different modes. And of course you got launch control, which I haven't really messed with, and then just some theme stuff here. Yep. I usually just keep it on here, but it is stuff I plan on doing some more of, and hopefully doing some more videos of, and kind of just bringing everything together. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get back out of the car here. And there we have it. So a quick rundown of the 2021 Camaro ZL1, the wngZL1a, and some upcoming stuff. Borla Attack exhaust. This thing will be sweet. I might get this tomorrow. I am taking the day off. I'll feel how motivated I am. It has cooled down, so I really don't have any excuses to get this thing done. Here's some stuff for the El Camino. And then I have some goodies in here for the ZL1 here, which is the AWE link pipes. So hopefully I don't have to cut my stock exhaust. I can just unbolt it after the primary catalytic converters, bolt these in, and then bolt the Borla Attack exhaust, which is this whole bottom box here, including these pipes here. And here's two of the tips. And here will be some BMR chassis pieces. Since I'll be pulling off parts of the chassis to get to the exhaust, I figured I might as well swap out some of these chassis pieces that kind of go right around the exhaust. So I'll be knocking those out when I do the exhaust. So anyways, I'll wrap it up, and thanks for stopping by. Feel free to subscribe, you know, like, share the video, check out my other videos, especially if you'd like interested in those interior mods that I kind of showed off inside the car. And check out my Vital Mods video, which covers kind of, you know, some of the reasons of why I did with the rock guards. Underneath the car, you can't see them, but I have the pinch weld lift pads that really saves your car potentially getting warped and then throwing off these gaps here, which I think overall, even for a Chevy or any car, the gaps have been pretty good and fairly universal. No complaints. I know some people, you know, the door gaps aren't quite right. I think overall they're pretty good on at least my rendition of the car. But if you bend one of these pinch welds, these gaps will get closed up there, and you'll have rubbing of your door to your fender and significant damage if you crush or bend those pinch welds. So definitely look at that. Check out that video, and yeah, follow along, and hopefully we'll be knocking out tons more videos, and hopefully I'll be a little bit more exciting and not quite so boring in my videos. So anyways, thanks a lot, and have a great day. Peace.